Hello, welcome to my channel. Today we will talk about the special data structure that is array. It's a special data structure because it allows us to store the list of collection or list of elements in a single collection. We will check how array can be created in JavaScript and how it's defined, how we can access the array, how we can add the element to the array, and how we can delete elements from the array. To define array, we just need to use opening and closing braces, and this will be treated as a special type, that is an array type. Let's check by creating a variable a collection. So this created the new variable which type of array. If we console that collection, you can check here, it's it has just one property, that is a length. So array can store the multiple elements, so array can has a length property, so we can get to know like how many elements are currently in that collection. And if you check this, it is a proto property coming from the array. But the one another problem is here is actually, if you check type of array, it comes as object. Let's check type of array. Actually, it's object. So it is an object, but it's special type of object. So if you want to check like the given variable, is it an array or not? So we cannot use the type of operator. So in that case, we need to use instance of operator. So let's check is instance of array, and it gives us true. That means it is an instance of array. All these things is coming from the proto property, that is the array. Now let's check. We have created the array here, but it's has the blank elements. So if you want to store the element or insert the element, we need to give the indexes to the array. So indexes is a particular number that can be used to retrieve and store the elements from array. And index is always start from 0. So the first element of the array will be at position 0. Let's say I'm storing the 10 at 0 position. So we can check. Now my array has a 10 at 0 position. So let I want to store another one. So 20, 29. It's fine. So I can see I have the two element and the length is showing 2 now. So total length will show the total element into array, but if you want to access the last element, it will be the length minus 1. So it means like 2 minus 1 will be 1. That will be the last index of the array. One thing we can notice here is array has a dynamic length. So that means we can add as much as element into array without any complaint or without any problem. So it will increase the length as we want actually. So this is how we can store the element into array. But if you want to print or if you want to access the element from array, so we can do, let's say I want to get my last element, that is at index 2. So I can last So I can give the index and it will give me the element of that position, that index back. So we can say, so it just kind of normal variable, but it gives us a indexes. So we can store the multiple element to the same variable or same collection. So we don't need to create the another collection name or another variable name here actually. So let's take a practical example now, so we can get more details about the array, what exactly it is. Let's say we have list of employee, and I want to store the details of that employee, and I want to store the details into employees collection. Okay, so I have multiple list of employees. So what we can do, we can create emp1 equal to, let's say, and this is multiple details. So we have the object, let's say name, and his age. So name is, let's say, uh, Ram, and age is 19. So this is my emp1, and we can create emp2, and we can store the similar kind of structure into that variable. But the problem is that this is not, I know, it's not a good way to create the variable actually. Not, it's not means a good way, but actually um, we cannot store the multiple values, and we can. It's not good way to like create the multiple variable just for to store different information of a similar kind. So instead of that, what we can do, we can use the array here. This is the best suitable example I can see here. So let's say I have created like employees, and this is my array. This is my collection now. Now I can add that employee to employee collection. So uh, and in array, we can store anything. We can store object, we can store undefined, we can store null, we can store functions. So anything data type that comes into the JavaScript, we can store it into the array without any problem. So employee, let's say employee index of 0 equal to emp1. Okay, and let's check that my console login. So we should get the one employee out of this now. Okay, but instead of doing this, we can even directly create the predefined array as well, like this. So we don't need to create the separate variable for it, and we will get the index out of it by default. So you can check here, we have the now two employees details into the array. So let's say if you want to print this employee detail, how can I print? So uh, we can iterate over the array. It's the array, and we just need to get the index, correct index, and we get a value out of it. So we know we have the for loop in JavaScript. So let's say I'm using for and I. So index always start from 0, and I should be less than, how much should it be less than? It should be less than employees dot length, and I'm doing I plus plus if I console log here so how can I do it? It's like my employees and index. So index is I, and So this will log the actual object out of it. So if you want to uh, get the property that is from that object, so you can use the dot notation. So let's say name, but the so and you will have the name of that object, that is that employee. Likewise, we can create. So that's we see what is the array, how we can assign value to the array, how we can uh, retrieve the value out of array. In the next things, we will see like how essential array is, how much important it is in the JavaScript. Actually, we get a huge list of different methods and properties. That's really important uh, to know about and to work with the array. So thank you so much. If you like this video, please subscribe, please comment, and please like. Thank you.